Empaths, we need to talk about red flags. One of the biggest challenges we have as empaths is we look at other people's behavior in terms of their red flag behaviors. I hear time and time again, Key, I always knew, my gut instinct told me, but I ignored the red flags. Well, this is a game changer. What about your red flag behaviors? Us empaths are often very good at looking outside of ourselves. But in this video, we're going to be taking a look at you and red flag behaviors empathic people need to pay attention to. I am Keely Taverner, psychotherapist who's passionate about helping empaths overcome, learn, understand, and move on from one-way, difficult, draining relationships with narcissistic individuals. So firstly, empaths, this is about looking at yourself. Often empaths who are natural givers have a tendency to focus on the other person's behavior. And this is a major factor that causes you a whole raft of problems. So that's tip one. You need to check you instead of checking others. Tip two, when it comes to red flag behaviors, what I'm encouraging us to do is to shift away from looking at others and begin to look at ourselves so that we are alert when our unhelpful behaviors start to kick in. And that's the shift. It's about being self-aware rather than other-aware. Tip three, red flag behaviors to watch out for empaths. Going above and beyond. Have you considered what your need to go above and beyond is all about? What are you trying to prove? What are you seeking? Are you seeking the thumbs up? Are you seeking someone's validation? You need to ask yourself self-inquiring questions. Otherwise, you're going to be like many of the unaware empaths who go around feeling like victims. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a victim of my empathy. I believe my empathy is a gift and it is my duty to protect it. I don't give away the responsibility. Like, how would the narcissist treat me like that? Why did they do this to me? Well, actually, in terms of self-responsibility, which I'm a passionate advocate of, what did I allow is a self-inquiring question and is much better for you. Because it's through self-inquiry that you'll get answers. Because let's face it, some of the unnecessarily difficult people that we like and love are great at deflection. They don't do self-reflection. And that's what actually makes the marry with an empath most beautiful. Because the empath self-reflects, the narcissist projects. So in this instance, I'm asking you to self-reflect on what is your need to go above and beyond for people. You got to check it. You've got to check it. Because that is one of the ways that when you get the answer, what is my intention? That should encourage you to, as long as you're being honest with yourself, if you're defensive with yourself, then that always gets tricky because it means you're always lying to yourself and you're often convincing yourself of your own lies. That gets very difficult. But if you're an empath who's open to self-reflection, self-inspection, then you may come up with some uncomfortable truths. Actually, I want them to. Sometimes that can be a place for us to see how we can be manipulative as well. How we might use going above and beyond as a form of manipulation to get people in. And if you do, it's okay. We are human and we know that empaths, we're not angels, right? Because we know we are human too. But pay attention to that. Tip 4, being the yes person. If you start to see someone, be it friend, brother, sister, cousin, mother, or a boss, and you notice your people-pleasing behaviors are kicking in, red flag. I wish I had one. Maybe if I re-record this video, I'll have a red flag. But that is for you to pay attention to. Your red flag behaviors. People-pleasing is one of them. So when your people-pleasing behaviors start to kick in, that is your red flag. Don't worry about others. We are looking within. We are looking at ourselves because we know that looking outside of ourselves is just not great for our greatness. Tip 5, paying attention. If you make justifications for people's difficult behaviors, are you starting to justify? Oh, they never got enough hugs as a kid, huh? Their mummy did this, their daddy did that. Well, notice. Because some of our justification results in us explaining away bad behavior. Watch out, again, that, like I said, that justification. Explanation. If you start over-explaining yourself, my empaths, not great for your greatness. That is another red flag behavior of yours. Starting to explain yourself away, not great for your greatness. Because often when you start to explain yourself, especially with manipulative people, they may pull out parts of your story, find answers to potential problems, and then use the content that you've given them to manipulate into certain situations they need you to be in. Sometimes we need to keep it short and sweet. Short and sweet. And if that sort of inspires you and you're curious, go and look at my video on the 10 tips on grey rocking techniques. Another tip, tip 6, stop defending yourself. If you find yourself defending yourself with unnecessarily difficult people, red flag, pause. And sometimes you won't catch it until you're in it, until you're doing it. Catch yourself. If you find yourself defending yourself, these are my tips to help you develop your awareness of your red flags. Yeah? We stop looking outside of ourselves. We're starting to look within. So what we've touched on already is your need to go above and beyond. We're talking about noticing when your people pleaser kicks off. We're starting to notice whether we make justifications. We explain away poor behavior. And if we start to defend ourselves, believe me, empaths don't do it. They've already made up their mind about you. And when you're trying to prove somebody wrong, then again, this may result in you going like all the unhelpful red flag behaviors. Not great for your greatness. Another red flag behavior for us empaths to watch out for is if you have conversations with someone and you notice it's just all about them and you feel like it's just your ears. Yeah? It's not two-way. Pay attention. You're not somebody's therapist. So intervene in the conversation. Try to share aspects of your own life. Because one-way relationships, is in the word, right, are often one way. So as a therapist, this can often happen. Sometimes I'll go out and people start offloading on me. And I'll start offloading back on them because I'm not in my work mode. My empathy is in my professional life. And outside of that, I have to be very mindful. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to help you develop your awareness around these areas. So if you find yourself red flag behavior empaths, listening to someone's trauma story and then you feel all empathetic and sorry for them, pay attention. This is especially for the empathic people who've gone from trauma story, from difficult relationship, mayhem relationship to mayhem relationship. Pay attention to yourself. Tip 9. When you find someone you want to fix, empaths, it's not great for your greatness. Not great for your greatness. Pay attention. If you continuously find someone you want to fix them, you want to bring them to your bosom and give them the milk of empathy and kindness. Pay attention, empaths. Because again, this is just another way that we neglect ourselves. Oh, how could they treat me like this? Well, often empaths, we can set ourselves up in situations where we perform our empathic role. And if you've never questioned how you co-create your own situation, your misery, where people leech and take your kindness for weakness, you are not a self-aware empath, and developing your awareness is crucial. The 10th red flag behavior for my empaths is falling in love with someone's potential. Falling in love with the fantasy of how that person should be in your mind's eye. Not great for your greatness. Accept people as they are. Massive quote from Maya Angelou. Learn to accept people as they are and not as you want them to be. Empaths, one of the things we have is we see people's potential and we can fall in love with it, go above and beyond to try to help them to manifest their greatness. But what about yours? Actually, I'm really curious nowadays. Sometimes I believe a lot of us unconscious empaths try to bring things out in other people because we may well be avoiding our own stuff. Who fixes the fixer? When you go about wanting to fix other people, your needs become invisible. And if you grew up as an invisible child, then that makes sense. Then actually it's normal for you. It may not be comfortable for you, but it's normal for you. So I hope these 10 tips on the 10 red flags for empaths to look out for. What I'm talking here is about introspection rather than looking at other people's behavior, so that you become aware if you're going above and beyond, if the people pleaser comes out, if you're justifying, explaining, defending yourself, if you're listening to people's trauma stories, if you want to fix people, if you see their potential. These are just a host of 10 red flags for empathic people to look out for. We are looking within rather than looking without, because the narcissists, unnecessarily difficult people, will never give you the answers you're looking for. The answers are within. So notice what you notice, make good notes, and let me know how you get on. If this video has been of benefit to you, leave a comment below. Please also do consider sharing with a friend. As you know, your girl Key needs those subscribers. So please do subscribe. And like I said, any comments, please put below, because I'm here to be of benefit to you. Any areas of your life or your challenge as an empathic person that you need assistance with, leave a comment below. I am Keely Taverner, psychotherapist, helping my empaths navigate a tricky world. Do take care of you, because if you don't, who will?